This is the Mickey Miles and More podcast, your one stop for information on Disney races, Disney vacations, Disney theme parks, and more. Now, here are your hosts for the Mickey Miles and More podcast, Michelle Scribner-McLean, Chris Eliopoulos, and Mike Scopa.
Welcome back, Milers, to another episode of Mickey Miles and More, our place to discuss all things Disney. I am Chris Eliopoulos, your host. With me today is Michelle Scribner-McLean. Welcome, Michelle.
Hey, I'm the only one here, but here I am.
Can I ask, what was your last background? Do you remember?
Oh, it's Frozen, of course.
Okay, just
yeah.
double checking.
So now I'm actually in a park. Now I'm in a park, but
you have to guess.
Actually, that. I think
Universal
this has been rethemed, but yeah. So anyway,
you get the idea.
Yes, and it's closed down, but I'm here. It's because I know Beci Mahnken of MMM017 Travel.
There you go. Do you have any shout outs today? Or is it just...
I do. It's somebody who we all know and love. And it is Steve Barrett, who is the Hidden Mickey guy. And hopefully we can have Steve come on the show. And he is a subscriber.
And Steve is also in that book in Becky's background.
Yes, he is.
I hid the Hidden Mickey guy.
Yes, and he is also a doctor, a different type of doctor than me. Yeah.
So that person with the book back there is our good friend Beci Mahnken from MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Welcome back, Beci.
Hi, it's great to be back. Next time, I guess I have to get creative with my background because
I like it.
Just the same thing over and over again. But man, I love watching these change.
And
I would love to be anywhere but in these four walls, just so you know. 5 months. Take me away, Cal.
Speaking of which, he keeps hanging out in the Serengeti. Our good friend Mike Scopa. Mike.
I think this is the Serengeti, but anyways.
Well, close enough.
I've been to the Serengeti. That does not look like the Serengeti.
Whatever.
But it's been a while, Michelle. Progress. I hereby claim this land in the name of His Majesty, King James I.
Michelle's got it.
Although it sounds like Hamilton, I'm thinking it's American Adventure.
No.
James I. That's.
I hereby claim this land in the name of His Majesty, King James I.
James I. Becky, anything?
Oh, I know.
Oh, okay. Your turn.
It's something to do with Pocahontas. Yes?
What's the attraction, Michelle?
Oh.
Got a poker face going there.
Because it's Jamestown, right? Oh my God.
What has Pocahontas in it?
Well, Fantasmic was the last one.
This is in both Disneyland and in Disney World, I believe.
Disneyland.
So it's obviously like a nighttime attraction, not like a fireworks thing or a. No?
Are we guessing?
I know. I think we're all stumped. Give it to us, Michael.
Pocahontas, am I close?
Which one?
Well, we know that, that's probably a line from Pocahontas.
Do we know that? Okay.
Are we making a guess or are we making a guess?
Disney's PhilharMagic.
Nope.
I know, but I just figured I'd.
That it? Nobody else?
Mickey's PhilharMagic?
I've learned not to.
Michelle had it. It was Fantasmic.
It was Fantasmic again.
Why didn't you say it?
Because you didn't really say Fantasmic. You said it's from Pocahontas. And it's like.
It's a Pocahontas. All right. No, I did say Fantastic. All right.
We'll
rewind the tape.
We are giving you credit because at the end of the year we're giving a prize.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
All right. So tonight's episode, we're gonna have a little fun. It's sort of, as I put it earlier, it's our backwards way of complaining. Mike, do you want to explain this idea of yours of what we're gonna do tonight?
So when you think about this delay of opening the parks for about 117 days, and it gives everybody a chance to sit back and say, and I know that Disney did this. Gee, when we reopen, what do we want to do? Do we want to do some changes between now and then? Because if you think of it, we've all seen changes in Disneyland and Disney World, all over all the Disney parks. And sometimes it rubs us the wrong way because all of a sudden, last week it was this week it's this. But now we've got this 3 months plus a delay between the time it was closed in March to the time it was open in July. So it gives them an opportunity to really say, okay, we get a chance to reset. Let's change a few things. Let's change something to do with the attractions. Let's change something to do with park protocol, which they have. Let's change something to do with hotels, restaurants, whatever. So I thought it would be kind of fun if we were the vice president in charge of operations for everything in Walt Disney World, and we had a chance to do a reset during the closure so that when the parks opened, we can say, this is going to change. And so I thought we'd go around and see what kind of ideas we would have. Again, hopefully for the betterment of the guest experience. So
well, first, I want to know what I'm making a year and what are my benefits. What's my signing bonus and how much stock do I get for this?
No guaranteed money. You're getting what the NFL
for Disney
players are
VP?
Man. No. Stock options, maybe $53 million a year. I don't know. Whatever Iger was making. So anyways, that's the premise. And if anyone would like to start, please step in. If you want me to give you an example, I can give you one.
I just have a rules question. So is this like if money didn't matter and just whatever we would change, right?
Correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Correct. I think, all right, you want me to go first? Because I sort of did big and small.
Sure.
This is a weird one because Mike, when you posited this earlier, you had said, think out of the box type of thing. So these are things I've seen that ruin a guest's experience. I would require every restaurant in the heavy zones, like, the lunch and the dinner times, reserve 2 tables for walk-ups for every hour. I've seen so many people who, don't know the rules. They don't know how to do, reservations, and they've got the screaming kids and everybody's hungry and they can't find a place to eat. And I just think it would be nice if they had set aside a couple tables an hour in those heavy zones for the person to walk up and just say, do you have something? And they're able to get in and sit down. I think nothing ruins a day and a vacation more than hungry kids who can't get a meal and parents who can't sit down and just get a little bit of relief. I understand why they make the reservations and they want to make sure that all the tables are taken. I think it'd just be a nice little gesture by the Disney Corporation to make sure that those people get a little extra when, the time comes. Thoughts?
How do we know that they don't?
Yeah, they did start that practice about 3 years ago.
I don't know these things. Nobody tells me these things.
Yeah, I don't know if
I've
it's
seen
still
so
in
many people.
play, though.
Like, you go to Vietnam.
You didn't get the memo?
Huh?
You didn't get the memo.
I guess not. I don't get, nobody tells me anything. But again, I'm not as Disney-fied as you guys. I don't keep up on all these rules and things that go down.
I don't know if they still do it, Chris, but I think that's a great idea because it was on my list as well. I know that they did that a few years ago. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I think that it does well for the guest experience because of the frustration of trying to find a place to eat sometimes, especially if you have a family and you have young children who need to sit down. But I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many people walking into Via Napoli who just, they got the kids hanging on and they're just, and you just see them march in and out, and there's just no availability, but.
Well, with that system too, before they were asking people to make reservations 6 months in advance. So you have to kind of either have a good travel planner or know what you're doing to make sure that you're jumping in on those reservations that are there 6 months in advance. And who is really thinking of that if you're not a Disney file that knows what you're doing? So I can see where that becomes a problem. So the new 60-day window is a little bit more palatable.
Anybody else have some ideas that are already in place? Michelle, you want to hit one?
I do. The first thing that I would do, that I would change, is to add the holiday overlay of Haunted Mansion into Walt Disney World.
I love it.
Because it is amazing. Amazing. Changed the whole way I look at Haunted Mansion. Love it, love it, love it. And I'm going to say / It's a Small World holiday overlay.
Yes. Awesome.
Both of them are, I just think would be, I know they require a lot of work and a lot of, downtime. What a great time to do it. What a great draw to the park. Chris, have you seen it?
It's so funny. The last time we went out to Disneyland, they were shut down as they were putting the overlays on, so I even missed it then. So
it is so cool. Becky, isn't it awesome?
It's so cool.
Yeah.
The good news, though, is that over the years, they have changed it. The changeover used to take like 3 weeks, and now it takes like 10 days. So they're narrowing that window a little bit to do the changeover, and that's why it's not at Disney World, because they're afraid that if a bunch of people come there for their vacation and it's down, it would be a guest disappointment.
Yeah, but honestly, cool. Mike and I went on It's a Small World. We got off and we went back on again, and we were like, "We're going on It's a Small World again!" Who knew? We don't want to go again. It was so good. So both of them, but especially Haunted Mansion, is just. It just made it a whole. We knew that the ride we loved was coming back, but this was just so fun. So fun, and everybody in line was so excited too. So that would be my first change. I have more though. Come back to me.
I think we all do.
Well, then bring it on, Becky. Let's hear what you got to say.
All right, I'm going big. I'm going the black Amex card for Disney is totally open, and because it's the one thing that drives me the craziest about being on property. I want them to expand the monorail and the Skyliner to every single resort, so that somehow I don't have to worry about a bus or a car or a minivan or anything to get me to the park. I want to easily, and especially once the Skyliner opened up, because at first I'm like, I'm not sure about this thing. It's up in the air and it's afraid of heights and it might stop and I might have to go to the bathroom, all those things you go through. But the moment that I was on property for the first time at a resort that it connected to, I'm in love with the Skyliner. So if there was a way to connect every single resort so you could easily get to the parks that way on a rotating basis, I'm in. That would be my change.
I like that.
My first change.
Yeah, I had one that was about expanding the bus system, but I think I like that better because then it's more of a, like attractions. Like people like to go sightsee as they're going.
Exactly. It's just another attraction. It's a ride outside of the park. And to see everything and to listen to the narrative and to kind of fly over the resorts. And I find it really exciting.
Plus, it's like timely. Like the buses, you can sometimes wait up to
this is happening anyway. Yeah. I would just add on to that. I would love in the Skyliner if you didn't have to go with other people. Because it's
not a problem
really
now.
I know it's not a problem now, but it's just a little awkward if you're like, okay, you have to be with another family, and I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I'm with you.
It's like I feel like I'm taking a taxi cab with somebody else. Like, what can we talk about?
I know. I wish they would do that like with Teppanito too. Like, I don't want to eat with other families, and I don't want to ride the Skyliner with other families.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, Michael, what's up? Like, give it to us.
Well, you guys are blowing me away with all this stuff. I look at my list, and it's almost like I'm going back to the future, you might say. So one of the things that's bothered me over the years since I've been going to the park since the 70s or whatever is that there's been a rollback of spontaneous entertainment.
Writing that off my list. Okay.
I can remember walking through Fantasyland, and all of a sudden the Walt Disney World All-American College Band would come out, and they would form a circle, and a whole bunch of us would, be clapping, and they would have this. They had a contest one time where they would play theme songs, television theme songs, and we had to guess them, and everybody was joining in with the cast members, and there were cast members who were singing and dancing, and there were people playing instruments. It was just really just fun. I mean, you never knew when something was going to pop up. And I remember going through Epcot, and all of a sudden a bunch of musicians would show up in Canada, and they would play. There would be all the Jameters. I mean, they're all in Disney's Hollywood Studios, or when it was called MGM. All of a sudden, there would be some entertainment going on, and it's like, where did it all go? And it was really one of those things that made it so much fun to be in a Disney theme park, because you never knew what was going to happen. You never knew when you were going to be entertained. You never knew when you were going to laugh, smile, and see the smiles on your children. So I think that that's really missing, and I would love to see someone write a big check and say, bring the entertainment back. Bring it all back to all the theme parks. I think it's one of the most interesting parts of being in a Walt Disney in a Disney theme park. So that's
such a good one. And a good illustration of it is over at Disneyland, where they have the characters are everywhere. They just pop up randomly.
Right.
So
without handlers too.
Yeah, you walk into the Disneyland Hotel and Chip and Dale are checking in. It's what? And you never see characters just wandering around the resort. So I'm on board with that one. That's good.
Yeah, no spontaneity. Like I miss even just like I had the same kind of thing. Like people love that whole kind of idea of just a new experience every single time. Like you want something different every single time. And it brought me back to the Year of a Million Dreams. And I loved how they would just do little things like, you would go into Casey's and somebody would be like, you want a hot dog? Here, have a free hot dog. It was just like, oh, that's amazing.
Exactly.
Or like pluck somebody from the back of a really long line and bring them right to the front of the ride. Or, all these little, and some of them don't even have to be big things. Like they don't. And just, we're missing that sort of little love fest, that spontaneity that brings out. So that was, Mike, you stole one of mine. But so Michelle, what's up next?
God, the next two of mine are, I'm going to lump them together, but they're the opposite of that, Chris. Becky talked about the black Amex, and I would love to see both Club 33 and Golden Oaks be more reasonably priced, so that somebody like me, a mild-mannered college professor, could afford to be a Club 33 member or to live in Golden Oaks. So right now it's way out of my price range. Lucky I have friends in high places. Wink, wink. But that to me would be really, really cool if that would be something that I could shoot for someday.
Well, hey. I mean, they make it exclusive for a reason, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, but if you think about it, though, right, the way the prices are going now, it's really like you have to have money for the whole park, much less Club 33. So sort of everybody should get a chance. But all right, Becky, what's next?
The other thing that drives me crazy, and I'm going to get so in trouble for mentioning this one, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think Disney should create a bona fide resort loyalty program.
Oh.
I think that there should be points for your stays. I think there should be benefits. And the biggest one is they should know who is in your hotel and if they've been there before. And the reason that this always comes up to me when I get asked this question was because there was last year, it was 2018. 2018, I literally spent 24 weeks in one resort.
Yeah.
And on several of those, when you walk up to check in and they look at you, and I love it for the first time family, but when you've been there for 24 weeks and they look at you and they say, is this your first time at Disney World?
Yeah.
And you're checking in, you just go, I was just here 2 weeks ago. And as a matter of fact, I'm staying in the same room that I was in 2 weeks ago and 20 weeks before that. I just think that there should be some, other hotels that have really high levels of service and have that high of a rack rate provide another level of service and another level of loyalty. And I just would like to see Disney do the same thing.
But Becky, when I've been in Bay Lake Towers or even Port Orleans, and I go back sometimes, not during check-in, but sometimes when I get into the room, there's like monorail chocolates and, well, thanks for coming back and things like that. So they seem to be aware that you're coming back, but just not that concierge type of service when you check in.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, here's a good example. The Four Seasons has about the same rack rate, maybe a little higher at Disney World, but if you're looking at just deluxe resorts, right? The first time I was there, beforehand, I was asked, when I'm just staying in a regular room, obviously this is Four Seasons level, and you wouldn't do this for everybody, but if even at concierge, let's say concierge level at any of the resorts, if they gave me a list and said, what beverages do you like? What types of snacks do you like? So that when I came in and I checked in my room, in my little mini fridge was stacked with the type of soda that I liked and the pretzels that I liked. And then I returned on the second time a year later, and they didn't even ask me anything beforehand. They welcomed me by my name when I pulled up to the drive, and all this stuff was already in my room again. So, I mean, it's little things like that are just impressive. I guess if you have a rack rate of $800, $900 a night, which you do see at the Disneyland resorts, at Grand California especially, and at the deluxe resorts in Disney World, especially when you're looking at concierge levels, those can hit 800, 900, even 1,000 a night. I would just love for them to have some other little piece of magic, some surprise and delights for people who keep returning, and not just to one hotel. And of course, my situation's totally different because I'm actually working there. But if you have families who come back 2 or 3 times a year to visit Disney World, and give them some points for something that maybe they can upgrade to something, or
get a fast pass or something.
Yeah, an extra fast pass, or when you check in, maybe if you've got a bunch of points from staying there 4 times in the year, let them have a concierge level access for a couple of days, or just something. Again, I'm blue skying this all over the place, but they've got so many people who are like us, that this is what we want to do. This is what we love. This is where we go, and we're happy to spend our vacation dollars there. I would just like to see a little more surprise and delight.
It reminds me of the thing Mike always talks about, how annual pass holders don't ever seem to get special treatment. In fact, sometimes get worse treatment. And I wonder, like, why do they do, like, you would think that Disney's pretty good about guest relations. Why don't they think of these things? Like, again, have you ever been to the yacht club before? Twice a year for the last 10, 15 years. Like,
exactly.
How do you not know? Oh, okay. You know, it's like, please. So Mike, it's the same thing, but what else do you have for me?
So I just thought of this right now as we're talking. The wheels are turning, and I don't know if any of you 3 have ever experienced the Adventurers Club.
Yes.
Becky, wouldn't it be nice if they brought it back?
Yes.
And maybe it used to be at Pleasure Island. Maybe it would belong in someplace like the studios. But the Adventurers Club was an experience that I'll always remember. I got to go there once or twice. I don't remember if it was twice, maybe just once. And it was always crowded. It's one of the toughest tickets to get. You're basically swallowed into an atmosphere that's surrounded by performers who are big game hunters. You're in a room. You remember that room, Becky, with the walls come alive and they talk to you, the books talk to you.
The masks come alive.
Masks come alive, and then you go to the radio show or whatever. It's just a great experience. I could never understand why they got rid of it. It was one of the most popular and the hot ticket items in Walt Disney World and Pleasure Island, and boom, it's gone. But I really think that if they brought that back, it would be crazy.
It was one of the most entertaining attractions / bars / places to go. I am all behind that one.
It's like you're surrounded by streetmosphere people. But these were the top level performers within the Walt Disney World entertainment crew. I mean, they were just outstanding.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? It just seems like it's about spontaneity and independent. Yeah, I made my convolutions yesterday. We missed that thing. We're running out of time. Do you want to guys do this another time? We'll do another What Would You Do event. But
sure.
I figure I'm just going to do one last one. I'll kind of end cap these two. So they need to revamp the Fast Pass system. Here's my thoughts. in the olden days when you used to have to go and get the ticket fast passes, you'd have to get in early, you'd have to get your fast pass, you'd have to run out that hour, whatever it was. But here's the thing, you had the ability to go, and usually it was the same 4 or 5 rides. And then you had all the other attractions, which were like 5, 10, 15 minutes max. And so you could use that time to go on the other attractions. This new system puts in place that everywhere you go is a 45 to an hour wait all the time. At least I feel that way. Like I used to go get a Splash Mountain fast pass. I'd run over to Pirates. I'd get on there in 5 minutes. I'd run over to, Aladdin, or I'd run into, one of the other, attractions that was much less time and get through. I think part of the problem too is the system enables people to miss their fast passes. And I'm blue sky. I'm spitballing. I don't know. Obviously, I didn't know about the freaking restaurant stuff. So, you can call me out on when I'm wrong. But I would love it that if people just didn't make their fast passes, they had an hour ahead of time to cancel. They don't make it. They lose the rest of their fast passes for the day. So you maybe get 6 at the beginning of the day. You miss one without canceling, you're out. And then they re-put those into the thing. I know Becky's already making the faces. Like, I know. I can't even look at you, Becky, while I'm talking because you keep making faces like you're insane.
No, I have something to add to that.
Okay. My other thing would be they need to do something like Universal, which is like a Fast Pass Plus system. Like you pay extra and you get a Fast Pass to every attraction so that if you needed to run through, it's almost like a VIP tourless, guideless tour, and you just barrel through and that's your day. But that was what I would think. But then again, I'm the money bags, right, Michelle? Like, I go into Club 33 and
you're not totally insane. You might be a little insane, but not totally insane.
Talk to my wife.
You're insane.
Since you threw a second one in there, before I counter yours, I just want to throw in, you could also bring Osborne Lights back. Just saying.
Oh, good one.
Yep.
But Disney has done something different, and what I'm going to say is going to be very controversial. So just work with me, go with me here.
Becky at Mouse Fan Travel.
Disneyland,
Living on the edge with Becky.
Disneyland has an answer to what you're talking about, and it's called Max Pass. And Max Pass is a whole different way of doing fast passes, and it costs you money. It costs you $20 per ticket. However, it allows you to do your fast passes on your phone and allows you to get one at a time. So you do your fast pass and you get another one after you're done with one. So rather than holding a whole bunch of fast passes, then you can do one at a time. But from a cost perspective, before you go all crazy on me, it also includes unlimited photo passes. So one photo pass download is $14.95, right? So if you do 4 or 5, it's already paid for itself because you get downloads for free, unlimited of all of the fast passes, all of the photo passes. But it seems to work a lot better at Disneyland than it works at Disney World.
Right.
Just saying.
I know. I mean, look, I'm just saying, like, I don't particularly like the system the way it's
You
going
have
right
to
now.
be there, right? You have to be
Yes.
You have to be on the property to do it, right?
Yeah, you don't do it beforehand, but once you're there, if you have scanned in your ticket at either park, then you can make fast passes for either park. So if you go into California Adventure, you can then make fast pass reservations for Disneyland. You just have to have one, it's scanned in at one of the parks. So that's another thing too, is that if you're actually there, you're making reservations, that means you're probably going to show up as opposed to making them 60 days in advance and not sure if you're going to show up, which then takes the time off or them away from others to be able to use.
Yeah. All right. Any last quick ones before we say goodbye? Michael?
No, same for the next show.
We'll save it for the next show.
The next show.
So
I had 2 quick ones. I'll add 2 quick ones. First one would be checking closer to where your room is actually going to be, because I feel like I'm in awesome shape, but oh my God, there's some times when I check into Beach Club and it's like, especially when my kids were little, like, we're not here yet. We've gone like a quarter of a mile. Okay, we're not here yet. So that would be a nice one. And more behind the scenes tours. I mean, the day that I went to where they do the laundry, which I thought would be the most boring thing ever, was so awesome. So I would love to follow like my friend Karen, who's a Disney wedding planner, or just kind of see some of the jobs that people do behind the scenes. I think would be awesome. There are enough of those.
All right, I like them. I like it. So anyway, all right, so that's going to do it for the episode. We hope you enjoyed. If you have a comment or suggestion, please head down below and let us know what you're thinking. And while you're there, be sure to hit the like and the subscribe, because goodness, we need subscribers. Tell your friends. On behalf of Michelle Scrivener-McLean, Mike Scopa, Beci Mahnken, and the loser who doesn't know the rules, Chris Eliopoulos, I'll see you on the